The Royal Winnipeg Ballet has a brand new artistic director. Christopher Stowell is stepping into the role after the departure of Andre Lewis. The RWB is moving into its 86th year, and Stowell is ready to move the company into the future. Joining us now is the new RWB artistic director, Christopher Stowell. Good morning, Christopher.
Good morning, Rochelle.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, this has been 86 years the Royal Winnipeg Ballet is celebrating this year. That's huge. Tell us about why you wanted to be a part of this.
Well, that's a big question. So first of all, 86 years is really impressive.
Yes.
It's the longest continuously running dance organization in all of North America. I learned that sentence recently so I could share it with
so
people. Yeah, but that's really impressive. I mean, I was part of the San Francisco Ballet, which is the oldest ballet company in the United States, but RWB has been has a longer history, a longer, more continuous history than even that company.
Okay.
Something that sort of resonates with me is I remember hearing about and seeing the Royal Winnipeg Ballet when I was a teenager, when I was a dance student in Seattle, and it was such an exciting time every time they came on tour. And my mother actually worked here. She's a well-known stager of the works of George Balanchine, and Arnold Spohr invited her here back in the 80s, so
okay.
I was a kid then. I won't reveal any real numbers, but and I remember hearing all about this brilliant company, this dynamic director, this beautiful young dancer named Evelyn Hart. So it's been part of sort of my dance history for my whole adult life. Mm-hmm. And when I got a call asking me if this would be of interest to me to apply for this position, I thought life is so interesting because it was not necessarily on my radar. But I worked for the National Ballet of Canada for 6 years recently and loved living here, met my husband here, he's Canadian, and just really thought, when I got that phone call, I thought something about this is coming full circle. My long admiration for the company and my desire to come back to Canada.
So how have you been adapting to living in Winnipeg, you and your husband?
Great, actually. This is the most welcoming city. People stop me at every event and introduce themselves, and we've been invited to parties and events and dinners, and we have a huge list of friends already here. So,
that's so nice
really
to
feel
hear.
welcome. Yeah.
And you're in the process of purchasing a home as well.
We are. We're looking for a house. We might make an offer this week on a place in River Heights. Fingers crossed.
Oh,
yeah.
Good luck with that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what your vision is moving forward into the 86th year of the Royal Winnipeg Ballet.
Yeah, I'm getting that question a lot, and it's hard to sort of come up with an elevator pitch. However, a friend and supporter of the Royal Winnipeg Ballet gave me a book the other day, and it's called Dancing Through Time. And it really is the entire history of the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. And I've been reading it, and it's fascinating, all the details in there. And I'm thinking about our 90th anniversary is coming up and how we can harken back to the beginnings of the organization. But what sort of the through line of the book is this sort of pioneering spirit. So I'm using that as my guide because I think that can encompass a lot. But being brave, being risk-taking, being distinct to Manitoba, Winnipeg, Manitoba, and Canada. All of those things are really important. And Andre Lewis led the organization for so long, and I feel like I can keep the spirit, the original spirit alive, and still go in different directions. So something that's really on my mind is wanting to really connect with the city of Winnipeg in a more varied way. I would love Winnipeggers to come across the RWB in public spaces and for us to perform in big theaters like the concert hall, but also smaller venues where it's a lot more intimate and have conversations between the artists and the audience, and just to have a real arc for the experiences possible with the RWB.
And of course, Ballet in the Park is happening this summer,
yes,
and so that's one of those
thing.
experiences.
Yes, so in fact today is a big day. I started my job officially June 1st, but today is the first day that the dancers are back. They've been on hiatus, so this is their first day back in the studio for the 25-26 season. So when I leave here, I'm going to go directly to their morning class and watch them, and they'll start rehearsing for Ballet in the Park at 11 today.
Oh gosh, so it really officially starts for you today.
Today's the big day, exactly.
Well, thank you for giving us some time today. We really appreciate it, and we're so happy that you're in Winnipeg and you chose to be here. Please come back and let us know how things are going.
I will be back anytime you ask.
Thank you, Christopher.